It's Trump now for the Peter Channel evening news on this Friday evening, December 2nd, 2016. Good evening, everybody. I'm Peter Wiggins at 6:30 p.m. on this Friday evening. 42 degrees here in Norton. Tonight's low will be 34. Here now, your evening news at times. Tonight's top story at 6:30 p.m. on this Friday evening is China. The U.S. and most of the international community consider Taiwan to be a Chinese territory, not an independent nation, as Donald Trump spoke to Taiwan's president, reversing a decade of U.S. policy. James Mattis has spoken with Taiwan Marine as Trump's choice as defense secretary. Meanwhile, Trump also turned to some of Wall Street's biggest names to create a panel of business leaders that will give him a strategic advice on the economy after he takes office, including two financiers with deep democratic roots. And also, in Trump's first dominant thank you tour, he also returned issues like immigration and security that were staples of his campaign and announced James Mattis for the pick as Secretary of Defense. And Trump also filed a lawsuit to stop an election recount in Michigan that is scheduled to begin next. After most of his campaigns that combined to share continuous war stories, but the bitter 2016 battle for the White House has turned into a forever war for Hillary Clinton's tournament team founded for a year insurgency against Donald Trump. Miami, Red Devil lights departed Cuba and headed for Florida with 26 episodes on a motorized raft made of 55-gallon empty drums. Yahya Jammeh lost Thursday historic election in Gambia, but sources told BuzzFeed News that he will only accept the defeat after one of the top generals stepped in. The Hague, Netherlands airport warned Friday that Islamic State groups could launch fresh attacks in Europe in the near future, and the HC's director said police forces across the continent are investigating more than 50 terrorism cases. Sir, only in the Liberal Democratic Party defeated Zach Goldsmith, who represented the London Borough of Richmond and the Conservatives since 2010. A year after the terrorist attack in San Bernardino, California, that killed 14 people and wounded 22 others, authorities are still permanent and shouldn't answer lingering questions about what happened. Gatlinburg, Tennessee, the death toll come to 13 Friday as local, state, and federal officials fended off criticism of their hunted in a massive wildfire that stormed the resort town and surrounding Silver County communities earlier this week. Cherokee and non-convict ex-cop Sagan and death of Walter Scott. One woman was just going to collapse building in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. A male remains stuck in her debris. Rome, physics and commodity master Stephen Hawking was hospitalized in Italy's capital when he ran a series of tests that a spokesman for the academic said. Beijing, a town in China facing the Mongolian border, is at the center of trade feud a week after the Dalai Lama visited London border despite admonitions from Beijing. Seoul, South Korea, and Japan announced North Korea's sanctions on Friday. A move that was followed by a stern warning from China. Moscow, Trump Russian official accusing the Ukrainian government of attempting to sabotage Donald Trump's presidential campaign. Seward, Nebraska. Law enforcement officials in Nebraska announced they arrested an alleged member of the Mexico Sinaloa drug cartel who had been on the run for 4 years. Charleston, South Carolina, former attorney for Dylan Roof said that allowing a 23-year-old represent himself in a federal death penalty trial is unconstitutional. Amherst, Massachusetts. Amherst Hampshire called an Amherst, Massachusetts to raise the U.S. flag on campus weeks after it was moved to a spur of discussion and symbolism, school officials said. Dallas, Texas Governor Greg Abbott vowed to cut funding to any public college or university that hopes to shelter undocumented immigrants as a sanctuary campus. Boston, Manassamu, an ice cream company founded by North Attleboro native Katie Flannery and Gwen Burlingame, was named in the national winner 2016 Samuel Adams Brewing American Dream Boston Pitch Brewing Competition and Thursday finals at Sam Adams Brewery. The two entrepreneurs started the company last year, producing ice cream for consumers who are lactose intolerant, won $10,000 in a year of work. I mentioned for the Americans at Sam Adams Beer. Manassamu produces real ice cream for lactose intolerant people by acting latte, so thereby neutralizing the lactose while leaving the dairy in place. Flannery and Burlingame and already made a lot of progress on their own. Mansfield, school children and their teachers are using fire drills, but what happens when an unforeseen incident forces children being moved to another school and emergency affects more than one building? Mansfield Police Chief Ron Sellon will be joining Massachusetts law enforcement executives next week to a 10-day trip to Israel to attend an anti-terrorism seminar and visit high-profile sites around the country. Rehoboth, a local man allegedly threatened to blow up Criminal Farm Store at Route 44 118 on September 50 was indicted Friday by a Bristol County grand jury. Attleboro, for decades, employees at the Metals and Controls of Texas Instrument Industrial Complex on 4th Street worked on a site that fabricated and enriched uranium fuel elements for the nation's early nuclear-powered Navy and government research reactors. Boston, lawyers for a former Walmart employee who sued the retail chain to deny her same-sex spouse health benefits have asked for the federal court judge to approve a $7.5 million class action settlement. Jacqueline Cote sued Walmart in 2015, saying that the benefit Arkansas-based company repeatedly denied medical insurance for her wife before 2014 when it began, offering the benefits for same-sex spouses. After Cote's wife was diagnosed with ovarian cancer in 2012, the couple incurred $150,000 in medical costs. Worcester, Massachusetts, former Connecticut Boy Scout troop peddler has been sentenced to 5 to 7 years in prison for after a Minnesota pleaded to deal with sexually assault on 3 boys during a scouting trip to Massachusetts in the 1990s. Looking at business and news, another conservatives calling for capital against Donald Trump deal with Carrier and a bit and unexpected one, Sarah Palin. U.S. employees hired by steady clip to Northern Wall, the jobs rate filled the lowest in 9 years. A broadly upbeat performance that could mask underlying soft spot in the labor market. President Barack Obama Friday took the rare step of forbidding a foreign company from buying a firm with U.S. assets to tell that Chinese investment fund that can not complete a deal for German technology company Xran SE. The cost of providing special fund for a politically influential former official to the port authority in New York, New Jersey, just got millions of dollars more expensive than the parent company United Airlines. Washington, U.S. Army has awarded Lockheed Martin, Secretary Sikorsky, and the $93.8 million contract to perform technical logistics service at H-60 weapon system. Newport News, Virginia, military shipbuilder Huntington Ingalls Industries have finalized the purchase of cyber intelligence and an unmanned aircraft developer Canberra Corporation. Mexico City, Paris, Madrid, Athens, and Mexico City mayors pledge to ban diesel vehicles in the coming decade to improve air quality. San Francisco, Wells Fargo worked by the national scandal over the sales practices, charges, bylaws to split the CEO and the chairman roles in the company announced Thursday. Alright, taking a look at some stocks today. When the day and the week down 21.51 points to 170.42, but the SP5 up 87 cents to 21. 91.95, and Nasdaq up 4.55 points to 5,255.65. The 22 nations European Space Agency member governments on December 2nd agreed to 10.3 billion euros in new spending over the next 3 to 7 years, according to the commitment in the International Space Station to 2024 and completion. Scientists may have just found a smoking gun that is ancient human relative Australia. Over there, a furnace sprung from trees like chimpanzees. Tornadoes are being Australia. The number of tornado outbreaks per year is fairly constant, but the number of tornadoes per outbreak has skyrocketed. Recent studies have been indicated there is likely a subsurface ocean underneath Sputnik Plantain, but does that mean there could be extraterrestrial life? The nation's healthcare tab grew at a faster rate in 8 years in 2015, driven by coverage expanded in the Affordable Care Act of the cost of prescription drugs, the government said Friday. Martin Shkreli, former CEO of Trend Pharmaceuticals, leads the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee and Raven Bill on methods and reasoning beyond recent drug price increase after invoking his Fifth Amendment rights against. Grand Justice condemned Trump VA over possible infections from dentists. A European cross-sectional study has added to evidence that higher annual lifetime exposure to ultraviolet B radiation and market of time spent outdoors in sunlight and association with reduced myopia. Peter Channel News Time is 6:37 on this Friday evening. And it's time now for a sports report. Tonight, the Boston Celtics will be at the Garden, take on the Sacramento Kings. Game time, 7:30 p.m. at the Garden. Alabama offensive coordinator Lane Kiffin works with the players during the Alabama football practice. Lane Kiffin's done a fantastic job at Alabama, but it's about time for him to go. The NFL career of Roland McClain may come to an end with a suspension. McClain's been suspended indefinitely in the NFL made official today. Nassau, Bahamas, after getting off the reasonable start with a second straight day at the Hero World Challenge, Tiger Woods encountered a quandary as he built a positive start with a bogey-free 65. And New England Patriots reacted to Grunk's news that Grunk will be out for the season with a back surgery performed today in Los Angeles. Peter Channel News Time is 6:38 on this Friday evening, and it's time now for Traffic and Transit Report. Beep! Let's start you on imitate with someone at SL5 and elsewhere experience of minor delays due to traffic on the commuter rail. Providence Train 8:35 p.m. Wake just up at 5:50 p.m. So between Elbow Station and Substation. And on the ferries, they are looking good. Okay, look at some highways and byways of New England on this Friday, 95 on the northbound side. It is backed up from Stafford all the way to Bridgeport, 95 southbound back to Norwalk, Merritt Parkway eastbound side back to Fairfield down to Bridgeport, Merritt Parkway westbound side back to Route 8 in Bridgeport, 95 on westbound eastbound side also west to 91 in New Haven, 84 westbound side back to Denver down to New York line, 91 on southbound side back to Winslow down to downtown Hartford, Connecticut, 84 eastbound side back to downtown Hartford, Connecticut, 91 on the southbound side back to 291 and 57 in Springfield. Out in central Massachusetts, 290 in the eastbound side. Little also just found 495 in Marlborough. 495 on the southbound side, Slow Bryan, Route 290 in Marlborough. But highways and byways central Massachusetts are looking good. Down in Rhode Island, 146 on the southbound side, Little Sorrel, 95 in Providence. 95 southbound back to 122 protected to downtown Providence. 95 to the northbound side effective for downtown Providence. 195 back to 44 in East Providence to downtown Providence. Jamestown, Newport, and Jamestown to Newport bridges are looking good. 95 southbound side low start to 290 for the 117 and War. Meadow bridges are little slow in both ends. Out of the Cape, Bourne and Summer bridges are looking good. 6 looking from 7 to Orleans and trains looking from Bourne to Falmouth. 95 on the southbound side about 120 Kenton to Route 27 in Sharon. 24 on the southbound side about 120 Kenton to Harrison Boulevard and Avon. 120 both ends is back to 130 Kenton to Braintree Split. Service Expressway on the both ends back to the Dr. Show and to the Braintree Split. 93 on the northbound side back to the South Boston and the Zachin Bridge. Mass by the westbound side of the back to the also in the Newton corner. And all the way up to the Natick, Mass by the eastbound side back to Newton. 93 on the northbound side back to Mass Avenue to the Zachin Bridge in Boston. 93 both ends is backed up from Stone Money to Route 120 Redden and 90 feet southbound back to Wilmington on Redden. 120 on the southbound side back to train Redden all the way down but Route 3 in Burlington. 120 on the northbound side around Route 3 in Burlington. Route 3 on the northbound side is backed up around 495 low all the way to 113 in Chelmsford. 93 on the northbound side about 133 in Hanover all the way to Route 110 in Lawrence. 89 on both ends is backed up around the Brookfield down the Montpelier stretch, but Interstate 89 southbound side backed up at the Canadian border in southern Quebec, up in northern Vermont, and all the way 59 on the northbound side back around southern Quebec and towards Montreal. And on Interstate 890 on the westbound side, both ends back around the 3 in Schenectady. Peter Channel News Time is 6:41 on this Friday evening, and it is time now for a weather report. And looking at radar, and it shows spotty rain showers from eastern Bridgeport all the way down around south central Connecticut, just around Glastonbury. 7-day forecast goes like this. By tonight, mostly clouds got about 34 degrees, north about 7 miles an hour. For Saturday, most clouds got about 45 degrees, northwest about 7 to 10 miles, gust like 23 miles an hour. For Saturday night, mostly clouds got about 41 degrees, now down to 20 degrees for the low on Saturday night. Northwest about 7 miles an hour. For Sunday forecast got about 41, about 22 degrees, northwest about 7 miles an hour, shifting light west wind. So if you're going to the Festival of Lights at the Norton Common on Sunday at 5 to 7 p.m. for the Christmas lighting ceremony, you are going to have no problems in the weather department. For Monday, a 20% slight chance of snow showers before 8 a.m. Putty Sunday forecast about 40, about 22 degrees, transportation 20%. Today, most of that's got about 43 degrees. So that a chance of rain before 10 p.m. Then a chance of rain snow between 10 p.m. and midnight. Then a chance of snow after midnight. Most clouds go about 30 degrees. Transportation 30%. Wednesday, a chance of snow and rain before 9 a.m. and a chance of rain. Mostly clouds got about 42, about 21 degrees. Transportation 30% for Thursday, a chance of rain and snow. Mostly clouds got about 44, about 33 degrees. And transportation is 40%. And for Friday, a chance of rain. Put that's got about 44 degrees and transportation is 40%. Currently in Taunton here, it is fair skies and it's 43 degrees and 58% humidity in Taunton. Out in Norton here, it is 41 degrees, humidity of 69%, and Mansfield is 41, and that's going to be it for the Peter Channel Evening News on this December 2nd, 2016 on a Wednesday evening, on a Friday evening. I appreciate you have a good evening, good afternoon. I'll see you at 11 o'clock for a late night report. I hope you have a good evening.